South Africans, I'm actually really disappointed in us right now. I don't understand why are we so quiet about the nonsense that is happening in South Africa. Why are we so cool, man? Huh? Today I want us to talk about Senzo Mchunu, guys. The very same Senzo Mchunu who has been suspended for almost a year, a full year, because he was suspended on the 13th of July 2025, and today is the 10th of July. So this guy has been suspended for a full year. But then the man is still collecting 2.69 million rands. 2.69 million every single year, well, per annum. So this is going to be his first year receiving this money with doing nothing. He did absolutely nothing this past year, but he was receiving every single month. But then I'm asking myself, how is this even allowed? How are we this calm about this issue? So let me break it down, right? So Senzo Mchunu was a premier of KwaZulu-Natal for years. Until 2019, he was appointed to be in cabinet. And then in 2024, Ramaphosa appointed him as the Minister of Police. Then in July last year, the 13th, well, not really the 13th, but yeah, somewhere in July, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, our policeman, he came in very strong, gun blazing, and accused Mchunu of interfering in police investigations. And he said that he works with dodgy business people, including a murderer, or rather a murder accused person. And also he was involved in shutting down the political killings task team force. And then a few days later, Ramaphosa decided to suspend him, right? But then now, here is what is actually pissing me off, guys. It's almost a year later now. Like I said, he was suspended on the 13th of July. Today is the 10th of July. So it's almost a year later. But he's still getting paid while the rest of us South Africans are struggling like nobody's business. But this guy is unemployed basically, but he's getting 2.69 million every single year. Well, every month is getting 200 and something thousand, But then it gets even worse, guys. Right now, this department, the Department of Police, it has 4 people earning ministerial salaries, There is an acting minister, Fares Kachilia. There is suspended minister, Mchunu, the one I'm talking about. And there are 2 deputy ministers, who is Poli Bushiela and Castle Mathela. 4 people. 4 people in one department. Let's talk about qualifications. Maybe they deserve this money. Maybe they are that much qualified. Guys, they are not. Now listen to this, right? Faris Kachilia, he has a BA, he has an LLB and an LLM, and he was also a professor, a law professor at VET. He's very much educated. Maybe we can give him a pass because he's a lawyer. But then there's Polibu Shiela, who is also very educated. He has got a PhD in administration, an MBA, a master's degree in transport management, and a BCom that is not specified as to what he was dealing with. Whereas Cassell has got a BA in social sciences, and then Senzo Mchunu himself, he just has a BA in education. He was a teacher before he became a politician. He was a teacher. Now, none of these people have any qualification related to policing, or rather to policing. Like none of them, not a single one. So how do they end up running the Ministry of Police? Or the police ministry? How do they end up running these departments? And let me be honest with you guys, this is not only happening in the police department. This is how most departments in South Africa are being run. Ministers are put in positions that have absolutely nothing to do with their qualifications. And most of them, they don't even have the experience of the qualifications they are in. Good example, Angie Mutshekga, who was a teacher. She was perfect at the Department of Education, but now she had to go to the Department of Defense. And she has nothing to do with defense. Maybe she was in Mkhonto, but that is not an armed force, a real armed force, let's be honest. But you know what? Besides that, we already have director generals and senior managers who are supposed to be running the department, who do the daily things, the day-to-day runnings of the whole department. There are those people who are senior managers. But then my big question would be, then if we've got senior directors and whatsoever, what are these 4 ministers doing in this department? The money is actually ridiculous, guys. Listen to the money that these people are receiving. Mchunu himself, the minister, the suspended minister, is receiving 2.69 million as a suspended minister. And then the acting minister is receiving the very same 2.69 million, you know? And then we've got the two deputy ministers who are receiving 2.2 million per annum. So in total, it's 9.8 million rands in salaries for one department, while one person is receiving 2.69 for doing absolutely zero work for a whole year. Has been receiving this money doing nothing. Guys, this is not right. Like when I was reading this, I'm really pissed off. It doesn't make sense at all. Like, help me understand. But then I've got this big question that I'm asking myself: why is Ramaphosa so quiet? Why is he sort of like protecting this man? It's like he's protecting Mchunu, because he did a cabinet reshuffle recently. I thought he was gonna fire him, but he didn't, and it's been a year now. I feel like maybe there is something that Senzo has on Ramaphosa, that Ramaphosa knows that if I fire this guy, he's gonna snitch on me. That's what I think, because it doesn't make sense. What is a good reason you can tell me that Senzo Mchunu is still receiving salary over a year now? Okay, maybe yes, he's following protocol, but come on, guys. Let's be honest. We have heard things, and many things that in Kwanas is said. We can see the testimonies, the evidence are proving him right. He said so many things about Julius Malema. And also, I was also kind of doubting, but now the evidence is there. We've got text messages there. So what are we still waiting for? What is Ramaphosa still waiting for? Why hasn't he fired him? Make me understand. It doesn't make sense. So Senzo Mchunu should be fired. Because here is my question now. Okay, sharp. We are waiting for the report to come out, the Matlanga Commission report to come out, right? It's been over a year now that he has been suspended and is receiving the full salary as if he's working. Then what happens if he is found guilty? Or the report comes saying that, yeah, we have got evidence that this guy has been doing dodgy things as a minister of police. What happens then? Will he pay back the 2.69 million? Will he pay it back? Or it is our money that just got lost just like that? Guys, a lot of things are happening in South Africa that I'm like, why? This doesn't make sense. And also the number of politicians in one department. Why do we have 4 ministers? Why do we have 2 deputy ministers in one department where there are also managing directors? There are department managers, there are senior managers, there are whatsoever who are doing the actual work. What are these politicians doing then? Who doesn't even have qualification that has to do with police work? Guys, all these things, we have to put them in our minds. Even when we go to vote, you have to remember that, guys, we are talking of the ANC that is doing all these things I'm talking about. So these are the things that we need to put in our heads when we go to the ballot box. When we vote, we should remember, oh, Pella is the very same ANC. Because right now, we don't know what democracy is, but we know what democracy is through the ANC lenses. Guys, it is time that we give another party a chance. I'm telling you guys, it is time. It is high time. We have given these people so many chances, but what are they doing? They're just enriching themselves only. Not so long. We might end up looking like Nigeria. We might actually end up looking like Nigeria, because what's happening to Nigeria is very similar to what is happening here. It is just that we have got a stronger private sector. That is why we are still afloat even today. We've got a stronger private sector. But if it was not because of our private sector, guys, let's be honest, we'll be just like how Nigeria is. This is painful. But anyway, let me leave it to you guys. What do you think? What do you think about this whole thing? What do you think about Senzo Mchunu receiving 2.69 million a year? This past year, he received that money for doing nothing. What do you think? Are you guys okay with it? Tell me on the comment section, guys. Yo, I'm pissed off. Yes, sis. Hey!